You're listening to the Geriatric Mamas Podcast with Jessica Raziri
and Sonia Tapley.
Welcome to episode 91.
91, we're almost at 100.
I know, I feel like we need to do something special for episode 100.
Yeah,
what are we going to do?
You know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to figure out how to publish 101.
Wait.
Because Podbean only accepts 100 episodes. So
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out how we're going to publish.
Wait, were we aware of this when we signed up for Podbean?
I don't know. Podbean was your idea. And
I mean, I don't know. I guess we need to switch. I don't know. That's hilarious.
Well, maybe we have to upgrade our plan.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
I'm guessing
that's how they get you.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, by the way.
Yeah. They're like, pay me.
Maybe we could do that thing that they do in elementary schools where it's like celebrating 100 days of school or 100 whatever, and then they have like the little kids dress up as old people.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do it like we wear like the old lady wigs and dress like old ladies.
Mm-hmm. It would be very fitting for our podcast.
It really would be. Mm-hmm. I mean, I did it that one time for my birthday. That ended up being like a whole thing because I didn't know we were going to have guests. I look like so ridiculous. I was doing it as a joke for you, and then all of a sudden, it was just Tiffany and Amanda, but it was just hilarious. It's like, oh, surprise, hello. It's fine.
Yeah. No, you had no idea.
No, but that was great. That was fun.
Yeah.
Well, so you know that dream? Mm-hmm. You know it all too well.
Yeah.
We have this dream. We both share this dream where it's like we're going to have just such a fun girls' date night. It'll be a play date with our toddlers. And we're going to watch our show. And we're going to have mommy time. And the littles are going to play. And they're going to eat. And it's going to be so magical.
Yeah. The strawberries even get finished.
The strawberries get finished.
Yeah.
All the efforts that are put into it are just like so acknowledged.
Yeah.
We just need to like let that dream go. We need
you're
to let
right.
that dream die.
For now.
For now.
Ugh.
And just face, especially when the dream is partaking in the middle of the witching hour.
Yeah.
For both of them.
That was such a great idea.
It was such a great idea until it wasn't.
Yeah.
Which was almost immediately.
Right.
So we had this beautiful idea Sonia had. It was on Thursday. And it was funny too because Hayden woke up at like 5 a.m. I want Auntie Kaka. I want Auntie Kaka. So I think he was dreaming about you. And then it was like around, I don't know, like 9:30, 10 o'clock, you're like, hey, I had an idea. Why don't you guys come over later and we can have dinner. The littles can play and it can be a great thing. And I'm like, oh, what a great idea. Yeah. This is perfect. And almost immediately, it was like not a good idea. Hayden was like feral. He was in a mood. He was like he immediately saw like all these balls. Sudden fascination this past week and a half with balls. And grabbed all of Annabelle's balls. He's hoarding them all on the couch. Poor Annabelle would go to like touch a single ball and he'd like lose his shit. They don't ever fight. They were fighting.
They were.
They were tackling each other. It was like, Sonny and I were like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like, reality looked definitely a bit different that night.
Don't worry. Like, so I woke up that morning and I had the idea. Like, when I woke up, I was like, it's a Thursday. Mike has to work late. It would be really fun to do like a dinner date and have a toddler play date with Jess and Hayden. And I had already laid out with Annabelle that we were going to go to all of her favorite parks. We were going to have a really long tubby time. And we're going to stop at Nana's house because I had to drop a few things off for her. And like, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, so how am I going to make this work? Because I was like, I texted you and then I was like stressed. I'm like, now I really need to make this all happen. And so I texted ChatGPT and I was like, can you make me a schedule to make all of this happen before 5 p.m.? And so it sent me a schedule. I had it make a couple tweaks. And then we were like on about our day. We were actually running on time. However, when Annabelle was in said long tub, I looked out my bathroom window and I saw a lot of smoke billowing from behind the neighborhood.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And like at the time, it still seemed like it was like a round area. Like somebody was having a bonfire and like they needed to get rid of some furniture but didn't want to take it to the dump. That's what I was telling myself. Annabelle's like, yeah, no, I mean, it might be a real fire.
Wait, Annabelle said it might be a real fire?
She goes, Mommy, she's like, Mommy, it might be a real fire. And I was like, I don't know, we'll see. So then I go downstairs, I like brush her hair, I get it all styled. I like bring her towel. I get like her clothes. I look out the window and I see a long line of flames.
Oh my God.
Huge across the marsh that runs behind those houses. So it was like this huge fire at this point. The wind was really strong that day, which means it carries fires.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was just like a ton of smoke everywhere, and I was like, okay. So I like texted Mike and like sent videos out to everyone, and I was like, I don't know, like we might be okay, like this might be fine.
Which, like, by the way, I was confused because, like, for those of you that aren't familiar with what a marsh is, it's wetlands.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like bodies of water.
Yeah.
It's marshy bodies of water, and it's
Yeah.
all wet and mushy, and
Right.
you have like straw, like dry grass on top. So that's obviously what was on fire.
Yeah.
But my mind was like, wouldn't the marsh just put it out?
So
Like,
you would think so. However, it was low tide, and tides are 12 hours long.
oh, love that.
So it was going into low tide.
Got it.
which
So it was
means
gonna
we
get even
had-
worse.
We had 13 hours before the water was going to reach the flames.
okay. Yeah, time was not in our favor.
No,
with
it
that
wasn't.
one. Got it.
So, like, I called my grandmother, and I'm like, so, when's high tide? And she's like, oh. And
Was
like,
she aware of the fire happening?
no, I made her aware.
Oh, okay.
She was out grocery shopping. So I made her aware. She wasn't watching the news. She's always watching the news, so normally she would be calling me and telling me about the
Right.
fire, but she wasn't. So I called her, and I was like, so when is high tide? And she's like, well, actually, low tide is in an hour. And I was like, oh, that's not good. So I still had my suitcase here from when we were in Massachusetts, and so I started packing my suitcase and like figuring out where all the animal crates were.
Yeah, getting
And
shit
like
together.
getting everything ready so that we could like spend the night at Nana's house.
Did Mike was aware at this point of what
he
was
was
going
aware.
on?
He was like, yeah, you might want to pack up the valuables. So I packed up the valuables. I packed up outfits for like the next couple days. I threw in a load of like a load of laundry that was like essential.
Mm-hmm.
And then my plan was I was going to bring everything to Nana's, including Annabelle. And then I was going to come back here with an empty suitcase, because we keep our suitcases at my grandmother's house right now. So I was going to come back here with an empty, very large suitcase, fill it up again, and hopefully not die in a fire.
Yeah.
And then go back to her house. And by the time I got done packing that first suitcase, like, I kept looking out the window, and, like, I saw a lot more smoke, and, like, I couldn't see the flames anymore.
Oh, God.
So I was like, okay, maybe
Was the
flames...
smoke over here, too? Was it filling in
It
the
was-
backyard at all?
It wasn't because the wind was blowing
okay.
all the way to the right, but it was starting to come this way. Like, slowly coming this way, which means it is slowly spreading this way. So anyway, I looked out the window once I, like, zipped the suitcase, and the helicopter had completely put out the fire.
Did
And
you
I
see
was like-
water falling from the helicopter?
Yeah.
I bet that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I was like, oh my god, we're safe? Like, everyone's good?
But also, like, I'm kind of getting anxiety and annoyance for you. The fact that I don't mind packing stuff,
Right.
but I hate unpacking stuff.
Right. Oh, it's still packed. Mike's work clothes, he doesn't even know he has like 2 sets of work clothes
You're
in
like,
there.
it's all packed away.
I mean, I didn't get toiletries in the bag yet because I was just
Well,
gonna,
that's the
like,
last thing to
throw
be
them in a
packed
Hannaford
anyway.
bag or something,
Yeah,
you know?
move
but
on.
like, yeah, it wasn't
Oh
that.
my god.
It wasn't that big of an emergency because I was just gonna throw it in last minute.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then I texted Jess that we were still on for dinner.
We're still good.
But I only got to take Annabelle to one park.
Did she hold it against you?
No, she thought it was cool.
Okay, good.
Because, you know, she got entertainment from the fire
Yeah.
and mommy panicking, and
That was fun for her.
yeah, she was like, I guess we gotta go to Nana's tonight, which actually is one of her favorite places.
So
to
she's
go.
like, ah, shoot.
She's like, oh shucks,
Shoot, here we
this is
go.
gonna be an adventure. And anyway, so she's
Yeah.
kind of like, well, they put the fire out, I guess. So all right, so we ended up at one park, and then we went to Whole Foods for a hot sec and got stuff we needed for dinner, and that was just enough time to get back here and make dinner.
Honestly, I feel kind of like bad because I didn't really realize just how stressful that day was for you, to be
Well-
honest, because like I was working.
Yeah.
Like all I did that day, I say like all I did, but seriously in comparison is like I got up, I like Hayden had a great morning. Like, we had breakfast, he had his nap, I was working, and I'm just checking my phone periodically, like, oh shit, this is literally me. I'm like, oh my god, a fire. Oh wow, that's crazy. Working away. Oh, okay, cool. Looks like we're still on. I didn't realize we were off. Okay. Like, literally, like, just in my own little world, away from, like, the chaos of what was actually happening. Right. But now it makes sense, because when I got here, you were like, here's the pizza, here's this, here's this. Like, like, everything was out, but I could tell that there was, like, a lot happening in your mind. And I was like, what's going on? But now it makes sense, because you were literally going all over the place.
And it's so funny, because my grandmother is an Aquarius moon, and she was the exact same, because she was out and about when all this was happening. And so she was like laughing at me when I said
so she was like how I was?
Yeah, she was laughing at me. She was laughing at me when I told her I was packing a suitcase and I might see her later.
Oh,
she's like, well, if I don't see you later.
If I don't see you later.
She's like, I'll see you in the morning, and can you blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay.
It's so
like,
funny.
do you not understand what I'm telling you right now?
That's so good.
And then, of course, like, after the fire went out, I was like, well, she must have just known that, like, Scarborough's
wasn't a
that
big
good.
deal.
Yeah, Scarborough's that good at putting out fires.
Well, because is Bruce still connected to the fire department?
Yeah, but he doesn't have his scanner on it
Oh.
anymore. He doesn't have his
Because I was like, she probably already was ahead of you with, like, what's happening. She's like, oh, it's fine, Sonia. It's almost out.
They had no clue what was happening. They were out. They weren't even at home. And I was like, anybody?
Well, I think it's funny because you're like, okay, we're back home, so feel free to come over whenever. And I was like, all right, just finishing up work. Be there soon.
Yeah.
And I just, like, leisurely come over, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, no idea of, like, what the hell's been going on. Well, the chaos caught up to me, like, shortly after we got here with little Mr. Farrell.
The crazy kids.
The crazy kids. We did get a really sweet, like, little video of them. Yeah. But it's, like, really funny because it's, like, it was definitely, like, Instagram versus reality.
Yeah. Well, normally they play so well, but I forgot, with all the chaos, I forgot to, like, emotionally prep Annabelle. And I normally, because all of her friends are younger than her. Her cousins are younger than her. Her friends are younger than her. So I always prep her and remind her that younger kids don't yet know how to share. And she's the only one who knows how to share.
How do you teach an only child how to share? An only child that isn't really, I mean, besides Annabelle, it's not like he's around kids all the time.
Yeah.
And like, I felt so bad because I've noticed over the past, I want to say the past few weeks, he's become very, very territorial over like his things. Yeah. Like it's his things and he hoards things. Yeah. And I'm like, what is happening? Yeah. And then obviously our phones are listening to us. And of course now my algorithm is all, that's what it's showing me. And it's like, this is normal. They're not supposed to know how to share. Yeah. This is like being territorial and possessive. It's a toddler thing. So I'm like, okay, good. He's right on schedule. Love that. Great. Yeah. But it's like, how? Well, like, I don't know.
Annabelle was always the sweet, innocent, you know, and then all of a sudden it just like overnight snapped, and I just had to use the excuse of like, this person doesn't yet know how to share, but what I can guarantee you is that you're going home with all of your toys. Or none of your toys are leaving the house. If we're at home, none of your toys are leaving. Right. Like, they're just going to be playing with them with you. And then, like, sometimes, like, when I was babysitting her cousin and her together, like, I would get down on the floor and show them how to play together, like, as much as possible, because, like, it can be chaotic. Yeah. But I was trying to show them how to play together and not...
Well, I noticed while we were here, because, like, Hayden was totally the instigator, and I felt so bad for Annabelle a few of the times, because she came over, she's like, Auntie Jess, can I play with some of my toys, too? And I was like, oh, my God, you poor sweet child. Yes, they're your toys. I'm sorry my child is being a little asshole. I'm so sorry. But he was definitely the instigator, but, you know, he's 2. He doesn't freaking know. Yeah. But what I did notice was that one of the times, I don't remember what it was that he had in his hands. He had a bunch of her things, obviously, in his hands. And I was like, Hayden, can you give one of those to Annabelle? And he looked down at all of them, and he looked over at Annabelle, and he looked at all of them, and then he handed her one, and then he smiled. And I was like, okay, so that made him feel good.
Yeah.
So if I keep trying to maybe encourage that of like the giving, maybe that's the first step of sharing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know what to do because it's like,
if
it's
that worked
something new.
for him.
It seemed to in the moment. I
Yeah.
don't know. I haven't tried it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to lean into that
Yeah.
and see how it goes next time.
Keep leaning in.
I'm going to keep leaning into that
Yeah.
and see how it goes.
Yeah, because every child was brought up differently. Like, Annabelle understands what it means when someone's younger because before her cousins were even born, my mother-in-law got her, like, that silicone doll to, like, practice holding and be like, they don't know anything because they're tiny babies.
We're practicing, well, I'm practicing with him facial expressions and when somebody's sad and to acknowledge sad.
Yeah.
He has one of his favorite bedtime books. It's Bingo, but it's the bluey book. It's like it's Bingo's bedtime story or the planets and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a scene where she lets Floppy go.
Yeah.
And then she has the big tears in her eyes.
Yeah.
And I always make a point being like, oh, Hayden, Bingo's sad.
Yeah.
And he leans into the book and he kisses Bingo.
Aww.
And it's just like, I make it like a little moment. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, she's happy again. And I really focus on whatever. So like, that night when I was seeing the brewing, everything was brewing. The emotions were getting high. The big little feelings were definitely intense. And when he kept stealing things from Annabelle, I was like, Hayden, that made Annabelle sad. Like I'm making a point to be like, that makes him sad and whatever. So I'm like, I'm trying to lean into that kind of stuff to show him. But I'm like, oh, like how do you teach a 2-year-old that like is not emotionally stable, isn't supposed to be, doesn't know how to regulate their feelings, isn't supposed to know how to regulate their feelings, doesn't know how to share, isn't supposed to know how to share. Like how, like,
this is a normal thing, and this is why moms with 2 under 2, etc. Because like there are older, like
we need to be checking in on Tiffany more.
Yeah, we do. Well,
girl, are you okay?
I feel like Lucas isn't. Maybe actually Lucas is there because he's 1 now. How crazy is that?
I know I don't understand. I feel like she just had.
She's probably right in the thick of it right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because Hayden was, like, super sweet. Okay, first of all, he's sweet. He's sweet. He's so sweet. But he didn't do what he's doing now. This just kicked in. Honestly, this just kicked in, I want to say, about 3 months ago.
Yeah, Annabelle was the same.
But yeah. So he's right on schedule. Love that.
It's great.
But yeah, there was stuff flying. Things were hitting our heads.
Literally soaring through the air. We had to protect their heads. They should have been wearing helmets, but we were on it.
Yeah,
we were their helmets.
We needed helmets. Are you kidding? They didn't need help. We needed helmets.
Do they have helmets for these situations?
You know what? That's going to be our next reel. We're both just going to be sitting on the couch having our mom nights with helmets on while our kids just go freaking like feral.
We'll have to buy them little bike helmets or ski helmets. Oh my god, so good.
We have them wrapped in bubble wrap and we're just sitting here in helmets.
When my brother and I were little, like probably 4 and 5, my mom got us the boxing helmets.
Wait, I know the story.
No, this is a different
is this the
helmet.
car story?
My mom got us every different kind of helmet, but for at home,
Linda.
For at home, when we were fighting.
No.
When we were fighting at home, we had boxing helmets.
No!
We had boxing helmets.
Linda! You were so awesome.
Okay, so my brother took karate, but neither one of us took boxing, but we had like the full boxing set because we were 2 under 2.
Linda is amazing. Linda should have written a parenting book.
You want to know why though?
Why?
Because when she actually graduated from nursing school and right before she had us, she was an ER nurse for kids.
That's why, because she's seen a lot of shit.
Pediatric ER nurse.
Yeah.
And she was petrified of life.
Yeah. That's just like just like Adam's cousin Abby, she worked in ER for a bit, and so she's seen some shit and like some of the things. It's the same thing. It's like once you've seen that stuff, you see all like the worst case scenarios. So it's not just like intrusive thoughts. It's like that shit happens. So here's how we prevent it.
I'm not a helicopter parent. I'm just psycho because my mom was an ER nurse.
I'm embracing it. I'm helicopter. I can't.
Oh my god, it's so good. When I was at the so Annabelle sprained her ankle like a week and a half ago. And so on that Thursday that the fire happened, I had you and Hayden over. I took her to the Children's Museum. And, like, all the parents are relaxed, sitting in the benches because you don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
It's fenced in. No one can get hurt. But here's me running around like a chicken with her head cut off because Annabelle is trying to sprint. But by the time we left there, she looked like she needed crutches.
Oh.
Like, she was running so hard and trying to keep up with, like, the 4 or 5-year-olds.
Oh.
And I was like...
Was she just, like, so tired?
I was like, honey, you need to give your ankle a break. And everyone, all the parents are just looking at me like, is this lady okay? And I'm like, she sprained her ankle. She sprained her. Like, I'm not that person. Like, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
But, like, my child wanted to go to a park. I probably should have taken her to a quieter park. And I was helicoptering, like,
but you know
other.
what, too, though? You were probably more... I bet nobody really even thought anything of it. I bet you were just being super hyper-sensitive and aware of, like, probably how you were coming off, but probably nobody else was really thinking anything of it.
So when Mike and Annabelle left the apartment today, he was taking her there, and I was, like, she was trying to run up, like, the pathway to the car, and Mike's like, stop running! Your ankle! And I was like, oh, helicopter dad is going to the Children's Museum.
Oh, man. I mean, I'm not going to be... Well, I might. I was like, I'm not going to be following him to college. But I was like, well, I might.
I mean, if he has a straight ankle, you might.
I might. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm going to embrace it. I don't give a shit. So I give a fuck, okay?
You're going to be...
It's just so funny. It's like, it's the idea in our heads of, like, this sweet mommy moment. When they get older, I am hopeful that it'll be different and easier. But, like, right now, it's just like when we went to the Children's Museum with Kate and we had this idea of, we're like, oh, okay, it's going to be, we're going to sit here, we're going to chat, we're going to get caught up.
Yeah.
Nope. Hayden, he saw the slide. That's all he cared about. Annabelle wanted to go up on the 2nd floor. Cassie wanted to be up on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
They all want to be on different floors. I didn't realize there was multiple floors. Like, we're going up and down elevators, which you had to wait forever, by the way. And what toddler wants to sit there for 20 minutes waiting for a fucking elevator? It wasn't 20 minutes. It felt like 20 minutes.
It was almost.
It was almost 20 minutes. It was awful.
And then
at one point, I
slide,
used the stairs. So I'm like, this is just, we can't.
And then even, like, we were taking them out to lunch after, but in the slide area that's, like, the most contained section, you saw other kids eating their little snacks, and so of course our kids started freaking out that they needed
but
snacks.
Luckily I overpack snacks, so I had snacks for everybody. Because I'm like, okay, if I pull out an applesauce for Hayden, and what if Cassie and Annabelle want an applesauce? I want to be able to give them one too, so I'll just automatically pack 2 more. So I, like, packed 3 of everything just in case. So I was like, I got it. It was funny because at one point Annabelle's looking, Auntie Jess, what else you got in there? She was just shopping. I'm like, it's fine.
So
Pick
good.
it out.
She knows Auntie Jess has the
Oh,
good.
man. Maybe one day we'll be able to get through Sweet Magnolias. We're only on, like, we're not even on episode 2 yet, are we? We're on episode 2.
Yeah, we've made it through halfway. No, not even. Maybe a quarter of the way. Yeah. But, so, I had sent you that reel of the salad that I wanted to try. The La Scala salad, which I'm pretty sure is the restaurant where the Kardashians get their famous salad from. So, like, I saw this recipe online, and I was like, oh my god, like, it must be so good. I sent you the reel, you hearted it. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, come over. I'm gonna make the salad. We'll have a play date. And so that's what I made, was the salad from La Scala. And I ended up, like, adding a ton of salt because, like, it tasted bland. I added a ton of salt, and then I was like, nope, it still needs something. So I added, like, a bunch of Parmesan cheese. And then it was, like, just okay.
Yeah, it was just okay. It wasn't bad, but it was like, Like, I don't know that I would have made a fucking reel about it and been like, here, everybody, try this amazing salad.
You have to try. Since then, I've seen, like, 2 other reels of it.
You know what salad is really good? It's not like a healthy salad. Well, it might actually. I mean, it could be. There's this pasta salad that I made, was it last summer or 2 summers ago? I don't know, but I saw it on Instagram. There's this one influencer that she just does all the things in the kitchen. It's, like, so super cute. Like, she's really good with, like, entertainment. So she does all these, like, big snack boards and stuff. She made this one salad, and it's with bow tie pasta, mozzarella, but like the little balls of mozzarella. There was like cherry tomatoes, like black olives. I think there might have been corn in it. It's like really good.
Yeah.
I'll send you the recipe, or I'll just make it and we'll try that together. But I made that once because usually my go-to pasta salad is the pasta salad my mom is famous for, which is like delicious. But I was like, I'm gonna change it up, so I made this one and it was a hit, and everybody's like, oh my god, and it's like so easy to make. Like everybody was like, this is amazing, and I was like,
Okay, so next time we have a bonfire, we should have a salad party because I want to bring one too. There's like a broccoli one that I make that's delicious.
Maybe. Oh, what a fun party theme idea.
Like a salad party.
Like everybody shows up with their favorite salad.
Oh my god, one time my friend had this dinner at her house and they had chicken as like the meat or whatever.
Yeah.
But like we all just indulged in all the different salads because everyone happened and it was the best ever. We should do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Did you see, like, and again, my algorithm is all like tuned in, but I get a lot of things that are just like, oh, here's a girl menu, and it's literally like chicken Caesar salad and truffle fries, like champagne, and I'm like, yes.
I meant to get truffle fries for us at Whole
Did you
Foods, and I
see
forgot.
the thing I think I sent it to you, but it's like literally like if you're hosting a party, and then it's like champagne glasses, but then there's like a little extension, and
With
you put a little
fries.
French fries.
So cute.
Like, yes.
So much.
I'm like, what are we even talking about anymore? We're so off topic.
So the reason why we had to like officially stop watching Sweet Magnolias because Annabelle was like, can we please put it on my show?
Yeah, we gave up.
So I brought down Annabelle's little like downstairs floor bed because they both looked like they were getting tired and wanted to just like veg out for a minute.
Can we pause here and talk about this? I feel like this is a really cool mom hack. And there's going to be some moms that are going to be like, what the hell?
No.
But hear us the fuck out.
Yeah.
Get yourself one of those giant dog beds. Okay? Hear us out.
Yeah.
Because if you just get like a big pillow, the stuffing's going to get all weird. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
But dog beds are designed to be actual beds on the floor.
Right.
And you can get them where it's literally just a big cushion.
Like the size of a pack and play.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
you just lay it on the floor.
Yeah.
Because I had mentioned that to my mom, and she's like, a dog bed for a toddler. I was like, trust me, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And then when she saw the video, the two of them, she's like, was that a dog bed? I was like, yes, it is.
So
What do you have to say about it?
So I ordered this like 5-star one on Amazon, and then I ordered because it's like I had done the measurements of like what's a pack and play size.
It's
and
genius.
what's this size dog bed or whatever, and so I ordered like one of those waterproof sheets for it, and then I also ordered like a bunch of other like sheets to go on top of that, and then of course we just basically keep like a soft blanket on top. And like the little Annabelle loves the Boppy pillow still. So we keep that on there where you can use whatever you want. So it's like it's waterproof, it's soft.
It's so soft, and it's meant to stay like fluffy. It's not gonna like the stuffing isn't gonna move around.
The first house we had when Annabelle was born, I was able to have people come help clean the house because like we were in an apartment complex, and so one of the women who were like was hanging out cleaning, we were like chatting while she was cleaning the kitchen, and she goes, has your dog ever slept on that bed? And I was like, no, it's always been there for Annabelle. And she's like, oh. Like she was
it's like people are like, what? It's weird. It's like, but when you think about it, like just because something is labeled for a dog, okay, it'd be one thing. I would be like judging if like truly it was truly your dog's bed that you were expecting her to lay in, but it's not.
No.
It's literally just a cushion, and it's marketing that's telling people, if they literally took the same exact cushion and said, this is a toddler pad, this is a toddler bed, this is a toddler lounge cushion, nobody would think anything of it. But because it's labeled as, here's a dog bed, suddenly people have things to say about it.
And
like,
to
it's
be
ridiculous.
honest with you, the original thing I saw about it was for pack and plays because I hated the fact that
how
the pack
hard
and
they
play
are.
was so hard.
Yeah, me too.
And my
I
mother-in-law,
bought extra cushions for Hayden's.
And my mother-in-law needed something collapsible, so she always had to have the pack and play when she watched Annabelle. And like Mike and I were gonna go on this trip to Mexico when she was like 9 months old, and I was like, she cannot sleep in a hard pack and play for like 4 days. That's not happening. So that's when I finally ordered everything. Was that. And then we just kept it because it worked so good.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Once I'm like in my own place, that's what I'm gonna do for Hayden.
Yeah.
I've already like decided in my head because he loved it. He literally, and I know you called it. I was like, because I could see their littles were getting tired. Like Annabelle was ready. I could see Hayden's eyes. It got late so fast, I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, we got over later than I was wanting, but still. And so I was like, why don't you just put her little cushion out? I feel like Hayden will snuggle up with her. And he did immediately. He laid right down with her. And I was like, okay.
Mamas, I love a full and silky texture in my face creams because they feel so healing and comforting to my dry, thirsty skin. Well, the award-winning, best-selling, lightweight moisture release water cream by Honest Beauty called Hydrogel Cream refreshes and cools my skin on application and leaves a dewy finish. As I mentioned on the Hope episode, Kathy's Story, I love mixing Hydrogel Cream into my foundation for a healthy-looking glow. Infused with jojoba and squalene to help hydrate and soothe thirst, plus 2 sizes of hyaluronic acid to help soften and firm, reducing the appearance of fine lines. Honest Beauty's Hydrogel Cream will provide a beautiful glow for very dry skin. We're leaving the link below in our show notes. Drink up, mamas.
Mamas, I want to have rosé all day, have fun, and let myself live a little without feeling drunk or feeling hungover the next day. So I treat myself by adding rosé tinted glasses to my sparkling water or lemonade. If you're like me and you're looking for calm daytime energy while feeling alert, present, and uplifted because, well, you know, you're a mom now. Adaptogenic and antioxidant-rich ingredients make rosé tinted glasses from Apothecary great for those battling feelings of stress and looking to curb signs of aging with improved skin tone and moisture. Its tincture format makes it easy to drop wherever you're making it. It's perfect for busy working moms, busy stay-at-home moms who are looking for mood and energy support on the go. We're leaving a link below and in our show notes. So cheers, mamas!
You are like, Auntie Kaka is the Hayden whisperer.
Yeah.
You
'cause
understand
He
everything.
talks and he says a lot of things.
He's
He has a lot to
literally
say.
putting together full sentences now. And it's crazy because it's like, it's going from just like words that you don't, and he still has those moments where you don't understand certain words, but now it's like actual full sentences that are so clear. And you're
Immediate.
like,
He is a total Libra.
Ooh.
Like, he is just so social and so conversational. And it's like,
yeah,
back when he couldn't fully talk, he might have been...
it upset him.
Yeah.
He was very frustrated.
It upset him, and he was very conversational, and nobody knew what he was saying. But now he's like immediately very conversational, and you can make out what he's saying.
Yeah.
And it's like a response to what you just said.
But it is like this morning I was getting myself ready for the day, and he comes over to me. He's like, I want to go on the 4-wheeler. And I was just like, where? Well, he calls it the 4-racer. He's just recently he started calling it the 4-racer. I want to go on the 4-racer. And I was like, oh, not right now. Uncle Chris is sleeping. Mommy's getting ready. But I want to go on the 4-racer. So it was like a, but I want to da-da-da. Because he was like responding to what I was saying. I was like, okay. He's like, okay, I get that you said but I want to.
Right.
And I'm like, I understand you want to, but Uncle Chris is sleeping. So when Uncle Chris wakes up, then you can go on the 4-racer. Okay. And then it's like quiet for a minute.
Let me go wake up Uncle
Yes.
Chris.
Yes. It was quiet for a minute. And then all of a sudden I see him going up the stairs. I'm like, where are you going? I'm going to go get Uncle Chris.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on, wait a second.
We're not letting him sleep, Mama.
Wait a minute.
Mama, this is not up to you anymore.
And then it was funny because it was like fast forward like an hour later when he was up, I like sent my brother a text. I was like, hey, by the way, Hayden was asking to go on the 4-wheeler. He was like, oh yeah, I'm aware. He knocked on my door and asked to go on the 4-wheeler. I was like, okay, you're already in the loop. Cool.
So funny. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, so he's like taking things, and I think before he was taking things in, he understood, but he didn't know how to like reciprocate that he understood. But now he's like totally interacting, and it catches me by surprise because I'm like, he's fully
and even things that aren't in the room with him. Like the other day when he was here, he was talking about Uncle Chris.
Yeah,
and Uncle Chris wasn't here. He was saying something, I don't remember what, but he was like, oh yeah, Uncle Chris. And I was like, okay.
For a little bit there, he was calling him Uncle Bitch. Did I tell you that?
No, I'm Cucka.
Yeah.
Chris is bitch.
Yeah, so you're Auntie Cucka and he was Uncle Bitch for like the longest time.
Oh my god.
He would say Uncle Chris, and all of a sudden one day he just started calling him Uncle Bitch.
And this was news to me until very recently. And like Chris was like around. Was it when we had the fire?
Yeah, and I thought it was hilarious, but I got the vibe.
How come nobody told me?
Well, because I got the vibe. Like, you embraced Auntie Cucka, but I just got the vibe that my brother didn't really appreciate being called Uncle Bitch.
I don't understand why after my name.
I don't know.
I feel like Chris should embrace it after my name.
I know. I thought it was very endearing, but
It's very on point.
Yeah, he didn't really seem to
Not because Chris is a bitch,
No.
but because my name is Auntie Cucka. So why would his name not be Uncle Bitch
Bitch.
or something?
Yeah, he
something
didn't
like
really
that.
love it. So, but now that he's graduating from Uncle Bitch back to Uncle Chris, so he's like, okay,
Oh,
he's like,
thank
I'm glad
God.
we're moving away from that.
Yeah, because Chris is with him every day. It's a lot different than like.
Well, he
and
was
I don't
literally,
care. Cucka's
like
different.
literally Hayden would be like, Uncle Bitch,
Yeah.
Uncle Bitch.
However, Cucka's become so normalized now
Cucka is
that when
amazing.
we're in public, even like when we were like running up and down hallways with
Yep.
like elderly
Auntie
people,
Cucka!
there's like elderly people walking up and down the same hallways, and he's yelling Auntie Cucka, and I'm just like, yeah, what's
Yeah.
up?
Hello.
Yes, Auntie Cucka's here.
Okay. I wonder what people think. They're probably like, how did she get that nickname?
Right, like,
oh
where
my-
did that come
There's a story there. Like,
Yeah. Can't wait to hear it. Still waiting on that sentence to come out.
So good. Oh my god.
Oh, anyways. So Jessica hasn't started watching White Lotus, people, and this is disturbing.
My colleagues at work watch it too. They've been talking about it on Teams, and they don't like talking about it, but they're just like, White Lotus, and I'm
Okay.
just like, ah.
It's not like your average show.
Like, what is it about? The Aquarius in me is like, well, everybody's doing it, so I don't know that I care about it.
Right. And I know you're going to say that. Like, I know that about you, and that's fine.
I hate that.
That's fine.
I hate that that's right, like what happens to me in my brain. But I immediately shut down. I'm just like, nope.
But I feel like maybe this show...
Just like Yellowstone, I still haven't gotten on the bandwagon with that. But now that people are kind of backing off of it and aren't talking about it, then I'm like, well, maybe I'll check it out now.
Okay, but this is so different.
Okay.
And I feel like this show was made for Aquarius because there's a hint of mystery to it. In the beginning of the show, on every season, you know someone's gonna die by the end of the season. You don't know who, you don't know how.
It's like the game of Clue. It's like
Basically.
Colonel Mustard with a candlestick.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
So, from the very beginning, and like you don't like normally know this going into it, but on the very first episode, in the very first 5 minutes, you would know this, so it's okay that I'm telling you that.
Okay.
It's an incredible show. Things are intertwined throughout the seasons. They're intertwined, but they're their very own story.
Okay.
And I am just starting season 3, but I have to warn you, because I know you're going to start watching it since I'm talking about it and calling you out right now. Season 3, like, okay, do not accidentally click into anything on Instagram about White Lotus, because everything has spoilers in it, and I already know the who for season 3 on who's going to be dead at the end. I don't know how.
Okay.
But before we even started season 2, I also know who was going to be dead and how. So it's like there's a lot of spoilers on Instagram about the who, what, where, and why.
Okay.
That I didn't know until after I watched season 1. And it's so good. It's so good. And it's like...
Where can I watch it?
Well, wherever you watch cable. Because like right now Mike and I are watching it on YouTube TV. Mm-hmm. So wherever you would watch cable...
You said Max at one point. Can I watch it on Max?
Actually, yes, it's Max.
Okay.
It's Max because we have Max on our YouTube TV.
Max. Mm-hmm. It's on... Okay.
It's on Max. It's on HBO Max. Speaking of, Right now we are drinking Campari Spritzers.
And it's delicious.
Yeah.
By the way, I feel like this is what they made for us at the when we asked for the Aperol Spritz. Maybe I'm wrong, but this tastes similar to what the first person made in Salem at the hotel. The first bartender, the second bartender, it was like bleh,
not as
but
good.
this one kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, so I put about the same amount as what you would put for Aperol, but this is a different one. It's it's the same idea, but it's a little bit more blood orange than regular orange, and it's probably a little sweeter.
It's delicious.
If I were to put a little bit more of that, it would be much sweeter. It's delicious.
Yeah, I love it.
Season 2, they're in of White Lotus, they're in Italy, and everybody is drinking Campari Spritz, and I'm like, okay, I need one right now. So I tried it, and it was delicious. So I have an almost 4-year-old.
Oh my god, stop it. Wait, hold on. 4?
4, so she's not going to be a toddler
Are you
anymore.
sure? You said when we started this episode you weren't great at math.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're
It's
sure?
Terrible. It's terrifying. Okay, so my mom did not allow my brother and I to have pacifiers. We were a non-pacifier family, and that's fine. It is what it is. I don't know how I feel about that. But when we were, like, going into the hospital, like, I was for sure that my child was going to receive the same treatment as far as
Because it's just like
pacifiers.
what you just knew.
Right.
Just to not
But
do
she
it.
always wanted to be on me, and, like, I was totally happy with it, but one of the nurses wasn't, and she, like, put one of those little, like,
Which,
green...
first of all, I remember... Yes, they're awful.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
And, like, you would think that that would be something that they would have talked to you about first before
Yeah.
just popping that into your child's mouth.
No, because they were frustrated with me.
Got it.
They were frustrated with me because I was like, she can be on me if she wants to be on me, and they were like, but you need sleep.
Ugh, they were mad at me.
Like,
the same
you
thing.
haven't slept for 3 days.
Yeah.
You know? So they popped one of the Advent pacifiers into her mouth, and she, like,
Which,
stopped
why are they
crying.
so big? Because they
Right.
make tiny,
They're just-
tiny ones. I literally brought... I was different.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's an accessory. I'm going to buy one that's going to match every single outfit this child owned. He literally, every single outfit, he had a matching passy.
Yeah.
But I had the really tiny, tiny newborn ones. I even packed some. I had some.
Yeah.
And I would put the little newborn one in his mouth, and like so cute with his little mouth. And then he'd come back from the nursery or wherever the fuck they took him with that giant thing that he couldn't even keep in his mouth. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
You were like... You're making him deep throat this giant fucking
I
pacifier.
don't know. Okay, Advent, you are a very popular company.
It's aggressive.
Why is this what you have to offer?
It's so big.
You should be cuter.
They can't keep it in their mouth.
They should be cuter.
It's awful.
They're disgusting. Like, what?
It was funny because when he first came back to the room, Adam knew what I sent him off in.
Yeah.
And then he came back with that. And, like, I didn't see Hayden come back in. I saw Adam's face. And then also I saw Adam's face was like... And then I look and I was like... And it was just funny because it was like Adam just knew, like, what my reaction was going to be. And the nurse was talking, and I feel horrible. Like, I feel like it's probably going to... people are going to... whatever, I don't care. But the nurse was talking, and in my mind, I couldn't stop staring at that stupid...
pacifier.
Like... And his cute little one was just sitting in the bassinet next to him. I'm like,
what are you doing?
it's right there.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And like in front of the nurse, I made
He doesn't care.
I literally made eye contact with her, and I went bloop,
Yeah.
bloop, like
Yeah.
look, he's keeping it in his mouth effortlessly.
Right.
Yay.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted,
No,
but
I
that
mean,
has
it just
always been a thing.
It did. It was effective in making her stop crying. However, it didn't make me feel any better.
Yeah.
So I continued to keep her on me, but it also became a crutch for, like, when she was on me but she didn't want to nurse, she needed something. So I gave her, we had already purchased a bunch of the MAM passies in case we needed them. So she's been on a pacifier, and, like, she's definitely been good about keeping it for when she's sleeping.
Yeah.
But she'll ask for it throughout the day. And the other day, I was picking her up at my grandmother's, and it was, like, almost witching hour. She was exhausted. She would have taken a nap, but she didn't take a nap. And, like, she wanted her pacifier. And, like, sitting there in front of my grandmother and her, I started comparing her. I started doing a comparison thing. And I was like, well, I was like, your cousins don't have passies anymore, and they're only 1.5. Hayden's 2, and he doesn't have passies anymore. And I was like, and your cousin Kai, he never had a pacifier. He was never allowed to have one. Never? Ever? Why didn't he have a passy? And, like, I was like, I just started to feel, like, gross. And, like, why am I doing this to her? Like, she's gonna get rid of the pacifier. We've already explained to her that when she's 4, it's happening.
She'll let it go.
Yeah, and she's already starting to let it go. Why am I comparing her to kids, like, that she loves and, like, cares about? Like, why am I comparing her at all? And I felt icky. And I didn't know why. And then, like, I started thinking about it, and I, like, started to think about, like, when I was younger, my brother and I are very close in age, and we were always compared. So there were things like, for example, swimming. Like, I started swimming before my brother, right? Like, because I was older. I was a 1.5 years older. So, of course, I start swimming lessons before he does. Then he starts swimming lessons as soon as he's old enough. And, like, I noticed, even at a very young age, when, like, people were comparing us. Like, my brother was a little fishy, and, like, nobody ever said that about me. Or, like, even when I got older and I was in school, I had always been called smart and, someday you're gonna do this, someday you're gonna be that because you're so smart. And then, like, one day, one of my teachers compared me with another student who got, like, an A on something and I got a C, and I was like, oh.
You fucking idiot. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
Sonya's an idiot, and you're so smart. Sonya's clearly an idiot, and you're so smart. But, like, I identify, like, it
I identify as an idiot. I'm just kidding. I'll stop.
I really, truly, like, before that comparison, I had, like, identified myself as the fish. I had identified myself as the smart kid, and then after that...
But then now that they're getting these labels and you're getting the reaction from the adults, suddenly it's different.
It shook my identity a little, because, when you're so little, you kind of identify with, like, what adults say about you. So I, like, started thinking about that, and then I felt even worse about the passy, and I started coming up with some fun alternatives that she's really liked, like, so, like, like, the whole thing with, like, dusty men.
Yes.
And, like...
Yes.
So I'm like...
I love the term dusty so much.
So her passy is now a dusty, and she's much better without her passy because she can talk better.
Yeah.
And because her passy is a crusty dusty, and
it's a crusty dusty.
It blocks when she has her passy in, I can't see her beautiful face because her crusty dusty pacifier.
Oh, see, I love all of that.
Yeah, and so she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she, like, throws her pacifier and doesn't even know where it landed.
Which is different.
Right.
From what
it's
she's normally.
So different. So, anyway, it's been going really well. And that was actually, like, the first time I know of that I've ever compared her to anyone.
So, I think the key thing here, though, is the fact that you caught yourself.
Yeah.
And you're aware of it. And, like, the important part is that, like, you caught yourself.
Yeah.
And you immediately fixed it. And the importance that, because, like, that's one thing that, like, in the beginning, I was just like, oh my God, it's going to fuck him up for life. Oh God, he's going to talk about this in therapy. Oh God, like, here we go again. And I was just very, very hard on myself over every little, what I considered to be a fuck up, which like really wasn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know what, it might have been a reel, it might have been, I don't even know. But it's just like, listen, you're going to fuck up. We're not born knowing.
Yeah.
Right? And we're going to fuck up. The importance is that you acknowledge it, you caught it, and you fixed it.
Yeah.
And there's actually a lot of value in that, is because we're also showing our kids we can fuck up too.
Yeah.
But this is how you fix it.
Yeah.
So I love that you caught yourself, and it is an icky feeling, because I've had feelings of other things too, of my reactions to things. One thing with me, and I'm not trying to like hijack this conversation,
it's fine. Take over.
But one thing for me that I do, and I've always been this way, is like my reactions to things. Like a lot of times it's because I'm surprised and it caught me, and I'm like, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
And it's not even that crazy of a thing, but like that's terrifying to a child.
Yeah.
And so like Hayden will drop something and like I'll be startled.
Yeah.
because maybe I'm like tunnel vision in something and then I'll hear a loud noise. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah,
like, what was that? And then Hayden's like, ah! Like, you know, and so like I've had to like reel that in.
Yeah.
And like, and it's hard because it's why I just have to reprogram my mind.
Yeah.
But it's been an involuntary thing.
Yeah.
And that I've done my entire life.
Yeah.
Apparently. And I didn't know until I had a child that it's very reactionary to that.
Yeah.
And so like I will take a pause, I give myself a beat, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mommy's so sorry. That was not a good reaction. That scared you, didn't it? That was a loud noise. I am so sorry. And so it's like, my hope is that he'll see that like, I freaking own my shit.
Yeah.
I apologize for it. It wasn't okay. I love you.
Yeah.
Like, let's do better together. And eventually, like, my hope is that it'll be a thing. But it's like, you caught it, you know?
Yep. Hopefully, I mean, I know I won't do it again because I feel like that was such a hard lesson I learned in life.
But, like, you know, it's one of those things that, like, when you're the one, though, being compared of, like if a parent is comparing you, like another parent's comparing, like, look at how Jesse's doing.
Yeah.
But I actually didn't even like that as a kid.
Yeah, no.
That made me feel very uncomfortable.
Because they never really did that.
That would happen to me.
Yeah.
And that made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
That would be awkward.
Yeah,
because you don't want to be that person.
No.
That everyone hates.
No, exactly. And that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, no, let's not talk about this. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Hey mamas, are you someone who's 35 plus and struggled with fertility, endured a miscarriage, experienced heartbreaking fostering or adoption challenges, or were perhaps flat out told by a doctor that you will never conceive naturally, and despite the odds, eventually found your happy ending by becoming a mama?
Send us your story at geriatricmamas.com. We would love to feature your journey to motherhood on a future Geriatric Mamas episode.
I mean, all of this is like really resonating with me as well too, because, you know, while I was an only child for 14 years, my cousin Kate and I, you know, we're only 5 months apart. She's July 18th, I'm February 18th.
Yeah.
And we went to the same school, we were in the same grade, obviously the same family. That's how cousins work.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, we very much were like sisters.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the family meant to do this, but I think without realizing it, there were comparisons a lot, you know? It's like, Kate was book smart, but I was creative. Like, you don't need to be book smart, you're creative.
Yeah.
And for a while, I thought it was my superpower. Like, I'm not book smart, I'm creative.
Yeah.
But then I carried that with me my entire life, and I used that without realizing it as a crutch to be like, well, I'm going to go to cosmetology school because I'm creative. I don't need my degree because I'm not book smart. I'm creative. I'm going to go to school for dance because I'm creative. I'm not book smart. I don't need to study all that stuff. I'm creative. And like I leaned into it like it was like a badge of honor.
That was
and
your
this is
identity.
my label. It was my identity. And I was okay with it, I thought, for a while, until I got into my adult years and I started realizing like maybe hair isn't my passion. Maybe I don't want to be a professional dancer. Maybe I want more for myself than that.
Yeah.
Not to say that that's not enough, but just for me, maybe I wanted a different path. Let's say that, right? But I'm not book smart. So what am I left to do?
Yeah.
And then somebody was just like, what do you mean you're not book smart? Like anybody can be book smart.
Yeah.
Like you're not born being book smart.
Right.
You either open the fucking book and study or you don't.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? You're fully capable. You can be book smart.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at them like, huh? Like, just like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Right.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Right.
And without realizing it, like, it held me back for a while. And I don't think it was ever intended to hold me back.
Yeah.
I think it was intended to make me feel good in the moment of maybe I failed an exam where she passed, or maybe I did something differently than she did or whatever. And I think maybe it was instilled in me.
Yeah.
that I wasn't book smart
Yeah.
to make me feel better, but without realizing it, it did. It changed, it shifted who I was.
Yeah.
And I took on, and then I, you know, it took was somebody being like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Right.
You are smart. You can be book smart. Anybody can be book smart. Open the fucking book and read. And I did. And then I got my degree. And I was
Right.
like, oh, I'm actually a lot smarter than I realized.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right. And I wonder how it made Kate feel, because
She didn't like it either.
Right.
It caused a lot of friction in the family.
Yeah.
Like, it put her and I at odds with each other, like, all through, like, middle school and, like, you know, junior high and high school. We, you know, towards the end of high school, we cheered together and stuff. We started getting closer, but it really wasn't until after we graduated high school that we finally got closer.
like, okay, so she's in medicine and you are in creative.
Yeah.
Legit. Let's take a moment.
I know. And here we are.
So crazy.
So maybe I'm not book smart. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Is it a full circle?
No,
Is that what you're saying? I'm just
No. I'm saying you're actually both.
Yeah.
Because it's known that Kate
No,
is
I know.
creative.
She is creative.
Kate is
She
creative, and like you're like both things. But like Kate's creative might show up in like the things she does for Cassie, or just like daily life.
Her creativity like comes out in like most beautiful ways. Like you said, it's not in like your traditional like where me, I'm like, okay, like aesthetically like eye pleasing things and you know, stuff like that. She's like, okay, what's functional? I see a need here. How can I make this work? Like with Cassie, like she shared with us, I thought this was like such a freaking genius idea when I was dealing with the frustrations of Hayden not being able to communicate words. And she came up with this idea of this book, and it was like all pictures, and it was like to show Cassie of like different food items. Like, okay, do you want like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Do you want macaroni and cheese? And then like all the images had like Velcro, so depending what she had in the house, she could like remove the images if she didn't have it, because God forbid she points something she didn't have.
Right.
And then that way Cassie could flip through the book, and it was like clothes, here's different outfits, like here's what kind of bow do you want, like here, so then it would quickly like identify. And I was like, oh my God. And so much to the point where like her speech therapist was like, can we steal this idea? This is amazing. Like, so fucking creative and beautiful. And I'm like, holy shit, like I don't know that I would have thought of that.
Right.
So it's like there's different levels of creativity. So
definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. She's creative in a very beautiful way.
Yeah, definitely. But I think definitely the whole like comparison thing can really shape your identity, and it can shake your identity. Because if you thought of yourself as book smart before somebody told you weren't.
I don't know how I ever did. Let's be honest.
Well, I thought I was a fish, okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I was a witch for the longest time.
Oh my God, so good. I love that for you. But I think just like encouragement.
My Catholic family didn't.
They were in denial, Jessica. No, but I think in all seriousness, like encouragement that focuses on growth for each child, rather than comparison, is what fosters a healthier, more resilient child. And that's something that is kind of more on the modern side, I think. It's definitely something that we are realizing, because probably everyone in our generation was compared.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones.
They were. No, we're not. And it was a normal thing.
Yeah.
I think it was thought of as this is a way to encourage them.
And motivate.
Healthy competition, motivation.
Yes.
So,
I actually know parents who still do this.
I don't think it was ever intended to be what it actually was.
Right.
So,
it was definitely meant to be. And I know people who do it in like a way to like motivate, and it's like they're definitely doing it to like help their child. They're not doing it, but it's so crazy how it shakes your core.
Yeah.
So,
but I love that you like heard yourself, you caught it, and now you're turning it into something different.
Yeah.
Which is really sweet.
We gotta get rid of that dusty crusty.
The dusty crusty's gotta go.
Because you can't see her beautiful face when it's in her mouth.
Oh, I love that that's the angle you're going with it.
She's like, okay.
Hayden doesn't really ask for it anymore. I shared this with you a couple weeks ago. I hated it. Like, right? Like, it was like towards the end, I was like, can we not? Like, this is just so much. And it was awful because in the middle of the night, he'd lose it, he'd cry for it, couldn't find it. It was a freaking thing. And I stopped buying them. I wasn't replacing them. So we were down to like 1 or 2 that were like amazing.
Yeah.
And it was awful. And then finally, like, while we were in Salem, my brother he dealt with it. He got him off of it.
Yeah.
And so it's great. But now I'm like, I kind of want my little Binky baby back.
It's gonna be really sad. I feel the same.
And
crazy.
I know where there is one because I found one.
But you're just keeping it for his book.
Well, it's still in the same spot. I haven't touched it.
Just keep it for his book.
I haven't touched it because I was like, if he were to find it.
I know other moms.
If he were to find it, I'm not.
I know other moms.
I don't know that I'd be like sad if I turned around and he had it in his mouth.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, it's my Binky baby. I don't know.
She just wants her Binky baby back, okay?
Uncle Bitch would be so pissed.
He would kill you. He would murder you in your sleep.
I know. But he hasn't found it.
I don't think he really would murder you in his sleep. He would just do it all over again.
He hasn't found it. I just need to collect it and save it for the baby box. Whatever. It's fine. It'll be fine. I'll be okay.
We're all fine.
It's okay. We're fine. It's so funny that it's like the things that you're like, ugh, really? The Binky again for another photo? Ugh, really? The blankie? Ugh, da da da. And now I'm like,
I want it back.
kinda.
Yeah.
And he's starting to like not want his blink, like he wants his blinky when he's like really tired.
I noticed that when you were
but
here.
it's not all the time.
Yeah,
and I'm like, do you want this? No, I don't want it. And he throws it. And I'm like, what? And it's like a jab to my heart. I'm like, hold
How
on.
did that happen?
I don't know when that happened. It just happened on its own. So here's actually a message to all the new mamas. Little things that you're nervous about, worried about, annoyed with.
Self-weaning is a real thing.
It is. It's a real thing. They're going to let it go.
Yeah.
They're not going to have it forever.
Right.
They're going to let it go.
Yeah.
They're going to let it go on their own time. Just let them let it go.
Yeah.
On their own time.
It's so
Unless it's a
crazy.
binky and they might need an intervention.
I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what to tell you.
But I don't know. I feel like Hayden would have taken that fucking thing to college. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was a problem. It was all day because he wasn't understanding. He was not okay with the whole, like, in the beginning I was like, we don't have it at the playgrounds. We don't have it at the stores. We have it in the car. We have it at home. We have it at bed.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we only have it at bed. And in the beginning, he was playing the game. But then he's smart and he's like, well, it's in the house. I know you have it. So if I scream at this decibel for this amount of time, I know you're going to give it to me.
Yeah.
And he was not wrong.
No, he knew.
Definitely received it promptly.
He knew.
So.
Yeah. No, I think
It just had to just go away.
Yeah. And it's really scary when, like, they have friends who are, like, a year older who have been done with it forever long. And then it's like you're getting them out of the car to go play with these kids. And you're like, okay, we are not going to have it, like, right now. It's done until after. And
I am surprised, though. I am surprised on a couple of occasions where he has seen Annabelle have it, and he hasn't.
Yeah.
He did one of the times pointed at it.
Yeah,
He's like,
he
a
was like,
fuffa?
yeah.
She has a fuffa?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, but we don't need a
Auntie
fuffa.
Cucka's
We're okay.
Auntie
We're
Cucka's
okay. We don't need a fuffa. And I remember him being like, oh, fuck, he's going to ask for the fucking fuffa. But he didn't. He let it go. So far, we've been okay.
When
but
he's old enough, I'll explain to him that Auntie Cucka was a pushover.
It's fine.
Oh, well.
Hopefully, our listeners found something valuable of this chit chat. Hopefully, it was relatable.
Sure hope so.
Yeah, because what the fuck are we doing, right?
Don't even know.
I don't know. Well, thank you for listening. Be sure to tune in next week. Your support is keeping the podcast going. You can help by following, subscribing, rating, reviewing, and especially by telling a friend to listen anywhere or watch on YouTube.
For more info, you can check out our website at geriatricmamas.com. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at geriatric_mamas, on YouTube at geriatricmamas, and X at geriatric.
Oh, good job.
And follow our group page on Facebook, Geriatric Mamas.
If you have a topic idea that you'd like us to discuss, are interested in being a guest, or simply have a funny geriatric story to tell, you can go to geriatricmamas.com and hit be a guest or send us your story.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.